For latest updates and short audio clips, follow us on Instagram, Reading the Author.
Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast The Reading the Author, a unique show where we read authors' mind and not their book. Meanwhile, I truly believe and pray that you and your families are completely safe and healthy as well. Today we have Bhagyashree Ranade ma'am with us, the author of Bookshelf Whispers, a tale of love, life and legacy. Thank you so much ma'am for coming on our show. We are highly grateful कि आप हमारे शो पर आए.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me here. I'm very excited to have this discussion.
Likewise, ma'am. So, ma'am, before we get into the podcast and know much more about your books, about your vision and all those things, I would like you to please introduce yourself to our listeners so that they can know much more about you, about your book's journey, like how did you started and all those things.
Okay. So basically, I grew up in the Northeast, and therefore I have a little bit of the Northeast in my book.
Okay.
I decided to take some of my memories, not only from the Northeast, but after I came back to Pune. I came back with my father, who was in the army, and we came to Pune. And we decided to stay here and to lead our lives in the best possible way in the retirement mode. Now, this journey from the Northeast to Pune was very eventful because, throughout my childhood, I have in my younger years, I was in Jammu Kashmir and then the Northeast and studied in a convent and really traveled with my father very widely. At that time, we could go into Burma and into Bangladesh, today's Bangladesh, and Tibet and Sikkim, Bhutan. I mean, really widely traveled all over. Coming to Pune, then of course, this was the schooling took place here, which was wonderful because I always say that the romantic side of everything has come from my school. And then college, then I was in England to do my master's. And came back and started some companies here, and I'm a director on 2 of the companies. Now, this writing came about 15 years ago, and that's how it took me into the world of books, novels, and of course, this is my first fiction book.
So, can you share with us what was that one thought which just stuck in your mind कि अच्छा नहीं अब मुझे एक book लिख ही देनी है, publish कर ही देनी है?
See, already I have written a few other books with many publications. Just to tell you about that I had written a thesis on marketing of charitable organizations when I was doing my masters in the UK, and that was seen by some of the academicians outside, and they decided to approach me to be their person in India to do some research in the non-profit sector. And one of the things is that I'm also the trustee on a trust called the Institute for Women Entrepreneurial Development, and so I have a very wide experience in the non-profit sector. Now, along with these publications which I did with this group of people, which was 12 people from 12 different countries, I would like to mention that in 2002, in the Year of the Woman, we were awarded by the Queen of Netherlands for one of the best publications at that time. Okay. Then came the books, that is Grassroots NGOs, Women by Women, Seva to Cyberspace, Volunteering in India, and The Power of Professional Coaching, which is actually my part of my profession. And I'm a professional coach, and I had a contribution in that book. But this fiction book came about in the last 1 year, when we were mainly at home, constantly online during the pandemic. And this is a culmination of many things. One is, it is a culmination of the stories that I have told my children and my grandchildren over the years. And they kept telling me that I was one of the best storytellers. I should write it down. And that's how I started writing these things down. And many stories which I've written. And then what came to my mind is that I have such beautiful memories of Pune and my holidays over here in the Wada, that I would like to, talk about the Wada and get people to see what maybe they have not seen, many of them, the Wada culture. And, what are the aspects of the Wada. Take them back. I would like to take them back into, that time. And, sort of visualize as to what it was like in those Wada days.
Okay. So, as we all know that the book has been released in the month of August and it's performing really well. But, there must be many people who will be searching for it after listening to this podcast or, so can you share with us some insights from the book, like what a reader can expect from this book?
Yes, I'd love to. This book, Bookshelf Whispers, is actually a work of fiction, and I have gleaned the typical traits of the characters as well as the highly nostalgic narratives and woven them into the fabric of the book. The period in this book is on the cusp of the colonial Raj and independence, and it serves as a perfect backdrop of complex relationships between the protagonists and others. I would like to mention that, though this is romance, it is in the romance genre, many of the characters in this book are as important as Emily and Akinsa, who are the two people who fall in love. And it will take them back especially into the Wada days, because I wanted to create a heartful rendition of really pure love, legacy and encouragement. And I wanted to take the readers back to the Wada days, unknown and unseen by many. And I wanted to bring out that emotion so that they could really feel it through this reading. So the book is about, it's a love story, but the rest of the characters, some of them are true and are extremely dear to me. And I do hope that the readers will also read them with as great an intent as the two protagonists.
And that's what you wanted to, readers to experience about this book, right? Those experiences.
Yes, correct.
Okay. And is there any particular, character or, some plot line you want to talk about regarding this book so that, readers can get more interested and more keen to, just go for this?
Yes, I could. This, like I explained, it's a period love story of a foreign exchange student who is visiting the Prabhu Wada. That's the Wada I'm talking about, and great descriptions of this great architectural wonder that still exists in Pune in many places. And she falls in love with Akinsa, one of the residents of the Wada, and a passionate, aspiring kabaddi player. One of the things I would like to mention is that, we have so many sports. I could have made Akinsa as a tennis player, a cricket player. But I chose kabaddi because I think that is one sport which has come from the yesteryears. And it needs, it needs to be seen, it needs to be heard, it needs to be, talked about. So acknowledged so that, people go back to playing kabaddi, and we do have, so many associations who are doing that today.
True.
So the book will bring about, it shows the cultural differences, the conflict and strife between the two, Emily and Akinsa, and her determination to overcome this if she could. And it also portrays the socio-cultural, traditional and patriarchal influences of the lives of the inhabitants of the Wada. And it's really, it's turbulence, it's agony, it's ecstasy, and which I have tried to depict in this particular book.
Okay.
And I feel that many of these, relationships and human nature and its vagaries, idiosyncrasies have remained unchanged over the ages. It really hasn't changed that much. And I wanted to add an element of nostalgia of a bygone era. And I hope the readers read into this and read the book with this perspective in mind.
Okay. Ma'am, I was reading the reviews and I came to know that, the book contains some portions of Marathi accent as well, something written in Marathi as well. So can you,
Yes.
just show some light on that as well, so that, our readers can know like what's the, theory behind adding these Marathi lines and all those things, some portions?
Correct. So one of the reasons for adding the Marathi lines, which are mainly in the chapters of Surya, who is one of the elders of this and the owner of the Prabhu Vada. These Marathi excerpts actually come from my father's writings, which I would like just to explain briefly. My father, he was a lieutenant colonel in the army, and he was a very devoted army person, and that has come about in all of us. We are absolute perfect army girls. And and he was very fond of writing. I remember that at 3:00 in the morning he would get up, sit on the table, take a hot cup of tea with a dog curled at his feet, and he would write. And he has written 12 to 13 books. Most of them are in Marathi. And I thought, since he's not there, and he always wanted me to be a writer, I thought that I would, honor him by adding some of these Marathi excerpts into the book in the right place. Most of all, this really gives, puts a focus on the loyalty, discipline, the values of the army, which in my mind are extremely important. It's very important for everyone to know. And that is why I have added these. And they also give a little bit of a change in the book, in the narrative of the book. Make it more interesting, I think. I hope.
Definitely. Okay. And ma'am, one more thing I noticed in the reviews, like, you're talking about only a certain place, but many reviewers have mentioned that, the book is plotted in many different countries, many different eras. Like, so can you explain about them? Like, what's the importance of, changing the locations and all those things?
Okay. So basically, I wanted to have a book which wasn't based in one place, that is Pune, but I wanted it to traverse through different countries to get a feel of what other places are like. And I did this through Emily. And that is how I put down the narratives of, her being an exchange student who, right from Mulshi to Lhasa to Portland, to Alaska. I just wanted to bring out some of these stories. And these are true stories, actually, because they come from my experiences. Being an avid traveler. Yes, and I thought it would really be nice to break the monotony of a book by delving into something different, something, which is beautiful, which would take people into far off places and bring about happy memories as such.
Okay. So we can say that, this book has a lot of influence of your life as well.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It does.
Okay. So I'm like, can we expect more such books from you, or you want to try a little bit on other genres? Like, what's upcoming next?
Well, one of the things that I'm doing at present is, the other three books that I mentioned. We have a fourth book coming up.
Okay.
This is slightly on the academic side, on the non-profit sector, and that is upcoming. We are still doing the research on that and writing it. So that would, be released somewhere, hopefully, in another year or a year and a half. But most of all, I would like to do a sequel to this book. Whoever reads it will know as to why I'm doing a sequel. I already have started writing, and I have a structure built, and I hope that becomes as good as this book has been. Can I mention a few things regarding this book also?
Definitely.
A little more about the book?
Yeah. Yes, please.
So the title of the book, which is Bookshelf Whispers, actually has a story behind it. It comes from a very antique bookshelf which lay in my grandfather's loft in the Vada. And at that time, as children, we were, extremely naughty, and we used to nearly kind of destroy it. But as we grew up, we realized the worth of those books right from the 18th century. Books that were there which held stories, the secrets within them. And as I grew, I always felt that there were some whispers which I could hear of these stories. And that is what I wanted to bring out in this book. And therefore, that if you see the cover of my book, it contains the shelf with the books placed in different, either horizontal, vertical, or sideways. And the whispers which have unfolded into the stories in this book. So that has caught on very well as the sketches of this book. There are two more things I'd like to mention here as an acknowledgement. That these sketches have been done by Rohini Srinidhi, who is a very dear friend's daughter. She's a graphic artist, and she has done a wonderful job. I think that is something that has caught on with the readers very well.
True.
And I also wanted to mention my content editor, who really also did a good job and gave me some tremendous suggestions, all young people in their 20s. Her name is Sia Kulkarni, and I really wanted to acknowledge them. And there are so many others who have contributed to the book, who, of course, I have been acknowledged in the book. So this is something I just wanted to, tell my readers.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, my next question to you of this podcast is after the first lockdown, many books are being published. We can say hundreds of books are being published every week. Numbers of writers are getting increased day by day. So, what sort of competition do you feel in this industry? Or you're someone who thinks content writing mein ya creativity mein koi competition nahi hota. Everyone is in their own race. What's your take on this?
Well, actually, when I, wrote this book, I had, no thought about competition whatsoever. I myself thought that this was a unique book, and that it was bringing out something unique, which I haven't read before. Maybe other readers have. And so I do feel that, yes, I'm sure there's competition, and there are a lot of books to choose from, and a lot of good books to choose from. But it also depends on, what kind of acknowledgement we have got. I must mention this, that I was very, very flattered that the book was rated in the first 50 bestsellers by Nielsen HWR Global Rating Agency. Nielsen is one of the biggest global rating agencies, and so is HWR. So when this was put on Twitter, I think it gave my book a push. And I'm very, very flattered and grateful for that it is in one of the bestseller lists.
Okay. So, ma'am, as you have shared earlier with us, you have written some, what we can say, some other books as well, non-fiction as well. So can you share with us like what's your current writing schedule? Like every day you do some hours for the writing, or it's just like random that someday you get some ideas, you just jot it down in the phone in your diary, and after that you write. Like how does it goes?
To tell you the truth, my best thoughts come at night.
Okay.
When there's absolute peace and tranquil in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I always have a notebook next to me.
Okay.
And I keep jotting down my thoughts, whatever comes. And then I get up in the morning again, which is a very quiet time. I think I may have got this a little bit from my father. The legacy of writing and maybe waking up handed over by him. And, I try to write. When I'm writing, I try to write at least 2-3 hours. And then I have to get back to the normal work and do whatever else I'm doing. But I think that is the best time. It is the most tranquil time to sit and write with the birds chirping outside and, sometimes the rain falling, making a pitter-patter sound, and all these sounds also bring about some sort of a beautiful feeling within yourself, which sometimes finds its way in the book, in my writings. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. So like we have talked about your book, about your journey, about your vision regarding the book's upcoming plans. Now coming to your personal life, can you share with us like how your journey of author is going on? Like how is it?
Well, actually, like I told you, that when I got into this writing with this group of people and the research, there was a lot of research involved in that, because it is mainly truly on the academic side, more on the academic side. That is what got me into this mode of basically writing and jotting down things. So my journey I feel has been very nice. And the most important thing is that I feel this writing has come at the right time in my life. I could have written many years before. I just feel that, now that I have a little more time, I'm a director on some of the companies, but I have a little bit of more time than I would have had I been running the show myself. And I'm able to devote my time to reading and writing and, doing many other creative things like singing and playing the violin and so on, which I really love to do. So my journey has been, I think, very exciting. And I hope that it continues in this way with these 2 books that, are in front of me, which I'm writing per se.
Definitely, ma'am. Indeed, it will be more amazing in future, I hope. And
I
so,
hope so.
Ma'am, can you share with us, like, how do you celebrate your success? And one more question in that, I would like to add on. Like, we all have ups and downs in our lives. So, after answering how do you celebrate your success, I would request you to please, just guide us to how manage the failures in our life.
Okay. So, I always feel that success is it's a temporary measure. And, throughout our lives, we have successes at different times due to different things. And at that time, it's a very elated feeling. For example, when I read this one morning, I woke up and I read this thing on Twitter by Nielsen and HWR, that this book has been rated in the first 50. I could not get over it for the rest of the day. So that is my feeling of success, that, I was really, really elated. And then it slowly sunk in that, yes, I have to carry on this legacy. I can't just dwell on my one success. I have to carry it on. I have to be persuasive. I have to be competitive. I have to get on with, various more beautiful things which I can bring out in the book and, incite the readers to read. So that is my thinking about success, is not to dwell too much on it. Take it in your stride and savor it and move ahead and look for the next, journey where one will be successful. Regarding your second question of the pitfalls, and yes, there are many. For example, of course, throughout life there are many ups and downs.
True.
And you have to deal with them. And one learns only with experience. And what I have learned, and which I follow today, is that if there is something being said, for example, if I get a negative review, how do I take it? I should take it as a learning. I'm a big learner and a big studier, so I always feel that there is always something to learn from what people are telling you, even if they sort of may pull you down at a certain, that feeling may pull you down at a certain level. But just carry on, try to improve upon that. There is some truth in what somebody is saying. It cannot be all wrong. So delve into it, see what is it, see what has gone wrong, or maybe has not gone wrong, and accept it in your stride, because if there's any negativeness, truly it only affects you. Nobody else is being affected. Everybody is happily roaming around. It's only the person who is affected, who is unhappy. So there's no point in going down that road. It would be nice to, get over it, learn from whatever has happened, and move on. Try not to make the same mistake again. That is how I feel that people should go. But
I'm having talked about. Yeah, please.
Yeah, I said different people have different takes on this, but I feel this would be the best way to go about it.
Definitely. So, I'm having talked about the reviews. I would like you to please, share. Like, do you read the reviews and what the readers say? Like sometimes
Absolutely.
they, when they DM you on Instagram and they, just talk about related to your book. So, do you acknowledge there, it's, let's say somebody, point out some mistake or some, some sort of improvement we can say. And do you hear that?
Yes, of course. I have this wondrous habit of, I read all the reviews and I actually print them out.
Oh, okay.
Because I feel that I may forget, in due course, what good things or bad things may have been said, and what I can do about it. And reading them makes me feel very happy, I must tell you. I mean, I have some of these reviews in front of me, and I feel that I would just read one or two out to you and say that one person says, "How beautiful is the cover." I absolutely love this one, and the more I read the story, the more I understand the smallest details they have put in creating this cover. Another person has said, "I felt that this wasn't a book. I thought I was seeing a movie or a serial."
Wow.
So yes, there's somebody said, for example, they may say that, well, I feel that this could have been better, that could have been better, which is fair enough. One has to go deep into that and look what could have been better.
Definitely.
Make some improvement for the next time.
Okay. So I'm now coming to that time when your book was about to release, like, the academics one or this one. So, like, what was going on in your mind? Like, do you feel stressed, or were you, excited, nervous? Like, have you, marked any milestones for yourself? कि अच्छा मुझे इतने लोग जानते हैं तो मेरे book को इतना sale करना होगा. Like, what was going behind that?
Yes. So for the academic books, to tell you the truth, our publishers were Sage Publications, and so we wrote the book, they did everything, and we just reaped the rewards of the book. So it was a very smooth and lovely, wonderful journey. So it was very exciting. They decided the launches, they called the people. I mean, we hardly had to do anything. When it comes to my fiction book, I must mention that I've gone through Notion Press, and yes, I mean, till it was published, they were very good. I must acknowledge them for that. And then, of course, the rest of the things I had to do myself. So yes, this book gave me some highs, gave me some lows, gave me some tensions and some big excitements, and then suddenly feeling
some
that,
experiences
oh my
as
goodness,
well.
yes. So I feel very pleased that I've had this experience of this fiction book. This is my first fiction book. I was a little worried, because I'm writing about it's a period story, right? It's a period love story.
Yeah.
I'm going back into time. But what I feel is that it has been taken so well. I must mention this. Apart from that very flattering bestseller, being in the bestseller list, I feel that the target segments that are reading this book have absolutely loved it, from whatever I understand. And I would really, really like to reach out to even the older people who have experienced this time, would understand,
definitely
the time, and would enjoy this book. So I'm working on that as to how to do it, because they may not be socially on social media, and so it's not so easy to reach them. But yes, this is something that is my present assignment, is to try to reach out to the older people who would appreciate my book also.
Okay. So ma'am, as we are talking about this book from I guess from around 20 to 30 minutes, the listeners are quite what we can say, that interested to listen some of the portions. If you can read any, then that would be really great for us.
Yes, I would like to read two parts, two different small paras from this. One is regarding Akinsa, who is one of the main characters in this book. And it goes like this. It's in Akinsa's Illusion, the chapter. With startling and intense blue eyes, short curly hair, always under a ball cap, and a unique charm, Akinsa was such a favorite of all the children. He had a peer status even as a child, always wanting to be part of a game, whether it was hide and seek or a ball game. He had creative abilities and wrote small poems, a dreamer who found solace in the freedom of words and penning down emotions. So I felt that, this really brought out the character of Akinsa, and sort of I feel very nostalgic when I read this particular para. And another paragraph which I would like to read is from the Prabhuvada's owner's wife, Gayatri, that is Surya's wife, Gayatri, is from the chapter called Gayatri Molds Her Own Happiness. A woman who always tried to, get out of a comfort zone and, just find something new and be happy. That was her goal in life. So what she says is, I must take responsibility for my own happiness or unhappiness, Gayatri used to say. With her own life experiences, she understood everything would not be perfect. On the other hand, she would say, if I take mental stock of things and count my blessings, I will make something of my life and be better off. So this is also a para which is really dear to my heart. And that is why I read out these paras from this book. I hope the readers go into the book and read it.
Definitely, that's so beautiful. Okay, so my last question to this podcast is like, what are advices for the upcoming authors? Like, after listening to this podcast, many will start writing, or many will be holding their draft in their hand or in their laptop, they will be saving, and they haven't published it yet. So what will be, if you can give one piece of advice to them, then what would that be?
So what I would say is that if, writing is your passion and you have the skill for it, the inclination for writing, of course, you need to be an avid reader and a researcher at times also. then just go for it. Structure your thoughts, get your flow, and just start penning it down. There are many steps to writing which come after you have finished the first draft. But that is the most important part, is getting your thoughts down on paper, penning it down. And once it's done, there's nothing more satisfying than that. So that is what I would tell readers, that if you have this ability, then just go for it,
Okay, so that's all for today, guys. I hope you must have enjoyed this episode, and if you do, then do follow our podcast, Reading the Author, available on all the leading podcast platforms. And don't forget to buy and read the book. आप जस्ट Amazon पे जाएं, वहाँ पे सर्च करें भाग्यश्री रानडे मैम की बुक आ जाएगी, ज़रूर खरीदें, पढ़ें. आप सर्च कर सकते हैं बुक शेल्फ विस्पर्स, वहाँ पे भी आ जाएगी. आप ज़रूर खरीदें, पढ़ें और अपने जानने वालों के साथ, चाहने वालों के साथ ज़रूर शेयर करें. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming on our show. It was truly an amazing experience to have you on our show today.
Thank you for having me here and conducting this discussion.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.